Hello and welcome to my presentation, The Beauty of Brentwood. This project was especially fun for me because I got to get outside and meet some new people along the way. My project was inspired by the rural country around my home because you can't get too far in these parts without seeing a tumbleweed or livestock. Let's get started. In this first image, I took my fiance's cowboy hat and I found pretty much the perfect fence and just hung it up, and I got a picture out on Sellers. And while I was out there, I actually met someone who lived on the other side of the fence, and we will actually see a couple of her animals later in our slideshow. This duck I found at a pond near my home, and ducks are actually a lot harder to chase than you think, but this one was very polite and he sat nice and still. This tractor is actually at the Contra Costa County Museum on Sellers. This is one of the pieces that is a popular photography spot because it's just right out in the open. I really liked this piece of wheat with the chipped fence behind it because you can see that real texture of the paint. I've always liked this sign every time I drive by it because there are very frequently tractors driving by, and you indeed do need to share the road. This was an orchard further down the way. I actually had to take a few pictures and basically run because the sprinklers came on and one of them hit my leg, and it hurt a lot more than you think water would. This, I'm not actually sure what this is. I think it's a silo of some sort, but it was really nice to photograph because you can see the clouds. They're way, way down low, and this thing was so tall. And I just really like that rusty red color. And with the editing, I used the HDR and I really brought out that nice rich red. This horse belongs to the woman that I met from the hat picture who lives on the other side of the fence I was photographing. She actually invited me back to her home to take pictures of her animals because she knew my photography theme was country themed. This sign is on the side of the road in a Brentwood neighborhood. And it's funny because the day that I went to go take this picture, I was actually looking for livestock to photograph. And I knew that nearby one of the homeowners has goats. The goats were not out that day, but I did get a picture of the Gursky Country Ranch store. This picture was actually difficult to get because, as you can see, there's water and mud in the foreground, and I actually had to lay down completely on the ground. So I was laying in the mud to get this picture, to get just the right reflection of the house and the pole, and the sky turned out really, really pretty in the background as well. This cow's name is Bessie. She also belongs to the woman that I met on this side of the road. She has probably 24 cows, and this one was my favorite one. It was actually quite a bit smaller than the rest, but she was very photogenic and she kept coming back for more. This barbed wire, I didn't actually initially see the cobwebs on the right side when I took the photo, but when I opened it in Photoshop to touch up and I saw it, I thought it was the most intricate, beautiful little spider web I had ever seen. This is the Smith family farm, the inside of their farmer's market. And when I took this, it was actually closed for the season, but luckily the front of the stand had a small opening where I could fit my camera. So it was kind of trespassing, kind of not trespassing, but you can see their shelves are empty. But what I really liked was all the lavender hanging from the ceiling and the old Coca-Cola machine. That was a really, really pretty red, so I thought this would be a good addition to my project. This thistle I saw on the side of the road in Brentwood, and initially I did not see the bug sitting on it. But when I started snapping pictures and the bug started crawling, it made its way up, and it looks like it's sitting on a thistly, thorny throne. The biggest challenge I had with this photograph is the leaves that grow with this plant are very, very thorny and very sharp, and so you have to step very, very carefully. This is actually still an active railway. You can see that the bottom is singed and burnt, but it's still strong enough to withhold the weight of a train coming. And I really like those deep, rich, like rusty red colors. And this picture was interesting because it looks like I'm on flat ground, but I actually had to climb a hill to get up because underneath is a creek and there's nothing really underneath it to hold me. So I had to climb up on the side of a hill to get this picture. This rooster also belonged to the woman that I met on the side of the road. And it's funny because right after I took this picture, the rooster jumped off the fence and ran away. So it was perfect timing. And this was my last picture that I had actually gotten for my collection. So I thought it would be good to end off my slideshow with. And it's interesting, the very next day that I went to drive by this person's house, they had replaced their flags with brand new ones. Thank you for coming to my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it.